today. It's a great pleasure to greet you from freezing Pretoria. It's very cold, and I think everyone is warmer than us. But as near-life distributors, we rejoice in the fact that no matter what the weather is, we can do our business because many businesses now have closed for the day, but here we are still working in our business. So today, our main theme, which is the last in our cycle of training, is teamwork. And I'll do the first part, and then Pascal will pick up from where I stop off. So we know that when we join our business, it's not a one-man show. You are not going to be alone in your business for long. Otherwise, that business will not be called a success. Our business is a team building business. So in your near life business, you start as one or two people if you have a partner, and then your first order of business is to start looking for people who can join you in your business. But remember that even though other people join us, we are each of us independent business people. So the whole aspect of teamwork is very crucial for our business. And we have a few things that we wanted to share. The first thing is that our aim when we join this business, because probably we have got some new distributors with us today, our aim is to build a team of users and distributors as well as customers. So these three categories are all part of our team. All of us, whether you are a distributor or a customer, the aim is that you use some of our products. So when we start as new distributors, we are our own first customer, because when you open a shop, let's say selling soap and food, you don't go to across the street to shop from someone else's shop. You become your first customer and buy from yourself. So of course, then from there, your aim is to look for other people. So in your kit opening, you'll recall that one of the most important things we do in opening a new kit is to encourage the new person to have a name list. This name list is a very important part of the inventory because it's going to be the source of the people who will join the new person as members of your team. As you go through your name list, you'll find people who are looking for business, and others who maybe just want to buy products, and they will fit in as part of your team. And in order for a team to be successful, you need to think of them as part of yourself, not as over there, but close to you. And they will be needing to know that you actually care about them. So the glue that holds a team together in our business is good relationships. And this cannot be overemphasized. We have to really focus on being able to form good relationships within our team. Of course, with the people who join us as distributors, we are going to be very close because we will help them initially to learn how to do the business. But also the people who come in just as customers, they are also important because they help us to move some products and make some cash. That cash keeps our business running. I remember when we first started the business, the cash that we got from our customers was very important because that is what we used for buying fuel to drive to the different places where we were building the business. It's important to have a list of customers so that we can periodically call them. I think I mentioned this in one of our previous training sessions, that we don't only contact our customers when we want to sell them something. We contact them with information, we contact them with just normal greetings so that they actually do know that we care. Because an important aspect of showing someone that I care is to actually take time to touch base with them once in a while. So we do that both with the distributors and the customers. And that way we feel a togetherness. And they start identifying as my near life, your customer will say if someone else comes to sell them to them is that my near life distributor is so and so, I buy products for them, because you have managed to have a relationship with them where they actually feel that they are part of your organization, even if they are not distributors. So it's important to have that frame of mind within yourself that the different people in your business are all important. So everyone has got their part to play. Also, the people who join us as distributors, they are not all uniform that they want the same thing. There are some people who will join because they simply want to buy products at a discount. There are people who maybe will have been customers for a long time and then they decide to buy a kit so that they can get the discount. These ones have their parts to play. Then there are those people who we are looking for. Normally, these people are people who are looking for an opportunity. And when they find this opportunity, they then want to build a network. And they are the ones who will take the biggest chunk of your time and your effort. Because you will need to train them, you will need to answer their question, you will need to hold their hands in the initial days, and you will need to make sure that your relationship is very good. And here I need to mention that once you sponsor someone, it's as if in one way you have become their parent. In the business, you have become their parent, which means that you are the one who has got to be more patient. You are the one who has got to be more self-sacrificing, just the way you are with your children. That for many years you sacrifice yourself, you give your time, you remind them of things, you encourage them when they are discouraged. You don't make a habit of getting disgruntled with them if they make a mistake or if they get discouraged, because all of us who are in this business have known days of discouragement, isn't it? And we have appreciated it if someone has stepped out to encourage us. So the people that that are going to help you build the organization as fellow businessmen are going to require quite a bit of effort on your part, and you have to be willing to do this. I'm not saying you have to do it indefinitely, but definitely in the initial months, you have to put in time and you have to nurture the relationship so that they start identifying with you, seeing you as a mentor and someone who cares for them. Now, a problem we see that comes is when someone you have sponsored starts being more successful or building their organization very fast. And now they don't need you as much as they needed you initially. And maybe their dreams become even bigger than yours, and their excitement level is greater than yours. And sometimes a bit of envy or irritation or resentment can creep in. This is something that as a sponsor and a mentor, you cannot allow it to grow in your heart. The moment you start feeling, there are people amongst you now who are part of our organization, but your pin level is higher than ours. And the reason why we appreciate you, for example, the Karaoke's and the Jerus, is that you are proof that what we said to each person who joined us in the business, that this business can make us, bring you to financial independence, is true. If not all of you were below us in pin level, it would not be as compelling a story, because the fact that some are higher than us means that your effort is what determines how big an organization and how big a check you are. As Paul was telling us just now, we've just come from a world team and PT meeting in which there was recognition. Why is there that recognition? Because the company makes a point of recognizing the effort of each person. So even if Pascal and I have been in the business longer than you, if your effort is greater and your success is higher, you are going to be recognized for that. And we cannot start resenting you or feeling we have no part to play in your business, because you are still part of our business, and a very good one, because now we can be free to work with other people, because the people who are already successful no longer need us as the people who have just started or the people who are struggling. So for that reason, this is a very unfortunate thing if we allow ourselves to become envious or angry and start speaking badly about people whom we have sponsored in the business. We have to make an effort to resist that urge. It's a human urge, yes, I quite understand that there can be a feeling of a bit that I have worked so hard. Why is this person who joined after me is getting to their goals faster than me? But as in everything in human life, we are all equal in front of God, but the results of our efforts are not equal. That is why, for example, some people are tall, some people are short. Some people are talkative, some people are not so talkative. Some people are outgoing, some others are not. Because of these differences in our talent and in just our life in general, the results of our effort cannot be uniform. Therefore, I encourage each person to work, give their best, and not look to the side to say, but this person is doing better than me. Maybe I should go and do something that harms their business in a certain way so it can slow them down. Don't do that. Everybody's success is in a way your success, because think about it. If someone is successful in your life and they are well known that they have done well in the business, if you go to speak to someone new about the business, this success story is going to be a very useful instrument for you, because you can say, for example, look in this magazine. You may sometimes go to speak to someone and they see someone they know in the magazine who has got a successful story. And you can tell them that, look, this person whom you know is successful. You are going to join this business and you can build for yourself success just as they have, and we will help you to do that. So for that reason, not to belabor the point, please let us really make an effort to see each person in our business as part of our success in one way or another, and to treat them with respect and to build good relations with them. It doesn't mean that every relationship will be successful, but it is better for you to make a point of not being the one to break the bonds. Don't be the first one to break the bonds in our relationship. Rather, be the one who is trying to nurture those relationships. So everyone in the business, whether they are in your team or they are just other Neolife distributors, see them as allies. Sometimes they may help you to be able to work out of town. Some of you may have businesses out of Nairobi. You may join forces to work in other parts of Kenya. We saw that a lot in our own years when we were new in the business and we did not have the money to fly out to places like Tanzania. I see today Dr. Kingu and Joyce are there with us. They too are new distributors. It was hard for us to be able to fly to the places where we wanted to build a business. And our sponsors and other people who are not our sponsors but were Neolife distributors played a very important role in this. I think I'm always saying this point because I really appreciate the work that they did. And even today, we see quite often that sometimes, like now, our distributors in Nigeria are benefiting from the training that is being given by the Diamond Director through Zoom there, because they struggle a bit with to connect with us. The connection is not so good. So if they have some other Neolife distributor who is giving a training in their country, even though they are not part of our team and we are not part of their team, they help our team members in that way by being generous enough to allow them to join the meeting. So for that reason, let me encourage you to be a person who is always trying to strengthen relationships within Neolife rather than trying to destroy them. I really believe that the people who will be part of your team are there already. You don't have to take another person's prospect. We don't have to steal each other's downline. Let us have faith that there are very many people on this planet, and there are several millions in Kenya, several millions in Tanzania, Nigeria, all these countries. There are enough. Let us go out and each of us look for persons to join our business rather than to destroy other people's business by going to try to poach people's prospects and so on. So this is an important part of team building, to see not only your small team of the people you have sponsored, but also the people who are part of the Neolife family. It is all one family. And as you become successful, you will be happy when you go on this trip and you see all these distributors from many different parts of the country and know that you have something in common with them because they have joined the Neolife family. Then the other thing I wanted to add, I don't know how I'm doing for time, is that most of us join this business when we are already doing something else. So for example, you may have your own profession, you may have a job already, or of course some of us are looking for work. So for example, for myself, when I saw the opportunity, I had not been able to find a job, so this became my full-time work. But for most people, it is actually something you join having something else to do. Now, for you to make a success of our business in building your team, you have to know that you're going to have to be willing to do more. It won't be that you just want to do the same thing that you have been doing and get success. It really does require that you stretch yourself more than what you are used to. So, for example, like now, maybe you would have been with your family watching news or having conversations and so on. But instead, you are taking this time to participate in this training, isn't it? That is an example of doing more. More could mean that you also go through the company website and you find tapes about different products so that you educate yourself. More could mean that now that traveling is a bit constrained, you set aside a bit of money so that you're able to contact by phone prospects who are out of town and so on. But I really think that the success in our business requires that we are willing to sacrifice and do more. But the good thing is that as you build your team and it becomes successful, each distributor who becomes successful in your organization means that you have to do less, because they once they know what to do, they don't need you as much, which means that you are free to do more, but it's not the same thing over and over again. It's with new people each time. So be willing to work more, be willing to learn more, but also you need to be willing to rest more. Because if you are doing two things, maybe before you are just doing your job and your family obligations, now it will be your job, your family obligations, plus the business, which means you have got to have the discipline of having a program of your work, maybe what time you're going to go to bed and what time you're going to wake up. I find that as we grow older, we are better at setting the alarm for waking up, but we don't specify which time to go to bed. And the problem with not having a specified bedtime is that you keep pushing the bedtime further and further and further. Then you go to bed late. Then when it's time to wake up, you're also struggling to wake up. So we struggle to go to bed, we struggle to wake up, and during the whole day, we are on our back feet. So I would encourage you to know that if you're going to work more and you're going to learn more, you also have to rest more, or at least to protect your rest time. Okay. Then in finishing, I would also like to encourage you to put a big emphasis on the kit opening session. Sometimes when people start the business, when people say they want to join the business, they are very excited. But by the time the kit comes, maybe they have talked to one or two people, those people have discouraged them a bit. Now they don't want to open the kit, or they feel that they don't want to take that time. Do emphasize to them a new person, the importance of the kit opening session, so that we say that you need to take a minimum of 1.5 hours to 2 hours, that you go through the kit content. And I think Pascal circulated a document to summarize for you how you can do the kit opening properly, so that when you leave the new person at the end of a kit opening, you have introduced them to the new life business, and you have also helped them to start working on their name lists. Okay, so kit opening is an essential thing. It's like a baptism into your organization or into your family of distributors. So don't rush it and don't ignore it. Emphasize it and do it well, so that each person starts well, and that way you really make them know that they are part of an existing family or an existing network of relationships. That is something that is very important, and we should not let it slide. I think that I will now leave you there, because I think my portion of the time is coming to an end, and hand you over to Pascal. As you know, Pascal is very passionate about the business and is very happy for us to be having this opportunity to be speaking to you. Of course, we know that once things are open and we start moving, we'll have to possibly make a different plan. But I want to hand you over to him, because I know that he really, really wants to see your success and to see your faces in the lifestyle magazine, having made your steps, having achieved financial freedom, and getting all the recognition that your hearts desire. That is the one thing he wants. So I think, Pascal, you can take it away. Thank you, everyone.
Good evening, everybody. Okay, that's a very good session by Betty. In fact, Betty mentioned a very important aspect of our business, which is kit opening and teamwork. What I'm going to share with you now is how to build a large organization. I think some of you have seen the checks that were issued to distributors all over Africa from the Prague Zoom meeting. Charlie Bolton received a check of over 22 million shillings. It's about 203,000 dollars. And I think most of you want to earn that level of income. So let me just share the screen with you. Just one moment. Okay, what I'd like to share with you is how to build a large organization. If you're in Nairobi and you had over 50,000 distributors in your team, where would you go and have a convention? You'd go to Moi Kasarani Stadium. If you're in Tanzania, you'd go to the National Stadium, which seats about 40,000 people. If you're in Lagos, Nigeria, you'd go to the National Stadium in Surulere, which seats about 55,000 people. If you are in Johannesburg, you would go to the FNB Stadium, which seats about 80,000 people. But how do you get your business to those numbers? The first thing about building a business with large numbers is what is called duplication. What does duplication mean? Duplication means to teach somebody what you're doing. That is what it is. And the simpler it is, the faster you can teach people to do the business. So make the business as simple as possible. I circulated a checklist of how to do the kit opening, and that checklist is only one page. If you are starting a new person, make sure that they understand to do the things that are on that one page. It's just one page. So duplication means teaching somebody to do what you're doing. The next thing you need to do is multiplication. Multiplication means that you teach many people to do what you do, and that means if you sponsor 3 people, you need to teach them what you do, and those 3 people, when they introduce others to do the business, they teach people to do what you do. The third thing I would like to discuss with you is called structure. What does that mean? Structure simply means you know the reason why you're sponsoring a distributor. Why do you sponsor somebody in the business? You sponsor somebody in the business to build a director. That is the only reason you sponsor, because our marketing plan pays you more if you develop directors. I think today's presentation in Prague by Zoom, people are being rewarded for building emerald directors. People are building 13, 18, 20, 30, 40 new emerald directors in their team, and that is why they are getting rewarded. So you sponsor somebody in the business with the sole idea of building a director. But what is the best way to do that? The best way to do that is when you start the business, you need to go wide as quickly as possible. That means you need to sponsor 6 people as fast as you can. Neolife has got what we call a 3 in 30 program. Why 3 in 30? Because 3 in 30 is actually achievable. But how do you build width? You build width by doing the 4 basic things in our business. That is, write a name list of 100 people, invite them to see the business, show them the business, and do a follow-up. Okay? When you do a follow-up, you are asking the prospect if they've made a decision. And there is a process for doing follow-up. Very 4 simple questions. 1, does the business make sense? 2, what did you like most about the business? 3, do you see yourself becoming successful in the business to achieve your dreams? Number 4, let's do the paperwork, get the money, and get started. A very 4 simple question. So if you keep doing the basics, the 4 basic things in our business, you're going to sponsor people and go wide. But why do you need to go wide? The other thing you need to do is to build depth. Why is depth very important? Because to become a director, you can actually do 4,000 PV personally. It's not easy, but some people do it. For example, Hosiana from the Truby director from Tanzania, when she gave her session last week, Monday, she said at one point she did more than 10,000 personal PV. But not many people can do that kind of work. So building depth means you build each leg to become successful. And how do you do it? First, in each leg or everybody you sponsor, you look for a listener. What is a listener? A listener is somebody who listens to your advice, somebody who seeks your attention, somebody who sends questions, they attend every meeting, they're doing the business without making excuses. And why are they listeners? Because they'll move to the next stage becoming duplicators. What does that mean? Duplicators means the people do what you are doing. These duplicators eventually become directors when they reach 4,000 points and they've got a team going. But never leave a leg if you build a director. That director leg needs to qualify as a director for 12 consecutive months. Then you have a solid business. But that's not enough. You need to have at least 4 directors in that leg qualifying every month for 12 months. Then you can say you build the leg properly. And you need to concentrate on the taproot. Let me see. I just drew a sketch here of what a width is. Width is the number of people you sponsor directly. Depth is when you start, for example, if I sponsored John. Yesterday I sponsored a new distributor in Johannesburg called John. He attended the meeting on Monday. So when John joins the business, I teach John to do the 4 basic things. 1, write a name list of 100. 2, I teach him how to invite. Number 3, I teach him how to present the business. Number 4, I teach him to do a follow-up. Once he has learned to do that, he eventually going to sponsor one person. Let's say John sponsors Kamau. I do exactly the same with Kamau. Then if Kamau sponsors Wambua, I do the same with Wambua. If Wambua sponsors somebody, I do the same with Jane, I do the same with Peter, and do the same with, let's say there's the person who is 6 deep is A6. Now I need to concentrate my effort on that leg at the most exciting point. For example, if A6 is very excited about the business, I shift my attention from John or Wambua or Jane or Peter to A6 so that A6 may create the fire on that leg and that leg eventually becomes a director. Now you need to be able to do this successfully, you need to draw your structure on a piece of paper and put it on the wall so that when you're working, you know exactly what you're doing. That is why when you're building this business, you need to know what you're doing. You need to know that you sponsored somebody to become a director. How do you help them to be a director? You help them to do the basic 4. Once they know how to do the basic 4, you help them and show them how to build structure also. They also need to go wide and build depth in the organization. So as you're building width, you also need to build wealth. And this is what gives you security. This is what gives you the security that if you even stop doing the business actively, your business is growing. Why? Because you have found leaders who are duplicating what you are doing. Okay? So draw your structure, build depth. I would recommend that each leg you need to go as deep as 14 deep until you find at least 4 serious people who become directors in each leg so that they qualify as director every month for a period of 12 months. Then you know your business is strong. But how do you create the numbers? Let's look at the numbers. You know, I'm an engineer, I like numbers. Supposing you introduce one person every month. After 1 month, you'll have 2 people. The next month, those 2 people sponsor one person, just one person each. So 2 people are there during month 1, plus 2 new people, you have 4 people. If those 4 people sponsor one each, 4 plus give you 8 at the end of the 3rd month. At the end of the 4th month, 8 people sponsor 1 each. 8 plus 8 gives you 16. 16 sponsors 1 person each. 16 plus 16 is 32. So if you're sponsoring 1 person per month, after 5 months, you have 32 people. Now think about sponsoring 2 people every month. You start the business, and in the month of June, let's say May is ending now, the month of June, you sponsor 2 people. 2 new people plus yourselves gives you 3. The next month is 3. Each of the 3 people sponsor 2 each. So those are 6 new people, plus the 3 who are there the month before gives you 9. The 9 sponsor 2 each. 18 plus 9 gives you 27. After 5 months, if you're sponsoring 2 each, the number is 243. But look at what happens when you sponsor 3. For example, if you follow the 3 in 30 program in our group, in the New Life marketing plan, if you sponsor 3 people, the first month, the 3 new people plus yourself is 4. If you sponsor 4 people, sorry, 3 people each times 4 is 12, plus those 4 gives you 16. If those 16 people sponsor 3 each, that is 48 new people, plus the 16 is 64. After 5 months, that figure is over 1,000 people. So think about sponsoring 3 people every month. That is how quickly the duplication can grow your team. But I want to go back to the initial page. Concentrate on the taproot. Why the taproot? Taproot simply means the deepest and the most excited distributor in each leg. So spend your time and energy there, because just like a tree, the tree derives its nutrients from the deepest part of the root, which gets nutrients from the soil. That is the same with our business. You need to concentrate on the taproot so that it feeds your organization. Okay? So that is how to build depth and width. And it's very important, because that is what gives stability, and multiplication kicks in. If you do this consistently, when I started the business, I did this calculation, sponsoring 3 people every month. If you do the calculation, after 12 months, that figure is 16.9 million people. That is how fast your business can grow if you know how to do it. When I saw the check of Charlie Bolton of 203,000 US dollars, if you convert to Kenya shillings, it's just over 22 million shillings. Is it? No, about 20 million shillings. If you convert that to the naira, is over 20, I think 25 million naira, and that's quite very, very good income. And the reason why Charlie got that is because he has built numbers, 1 person at a time, but building strong relationships. This is what I want to suggest to you. Building a large organization may appear very difficult, but actually when you think about it, it's simple if you pay attention to what you're doing. I've been telling some of my team members that have this as your mantra, have this as your saying every day. 2 people a day brings freedom my way. 2 customers a day brings cash my way. What does that mean? It means that you need to have a goal of speaking to 2 people every day, showing the business. If you're alone and you're doing 2 people a day, it means in a week, you're spoken to 10 prospects. In a month, you're spoken to 40 prospects. If your sponsoring rate is 10%, that means 9 out of 10 people you speak to, only 1 joins. If you do 2 a day, you'll have sponsored 4 new legs per month. Now, supposing you're 3 people doing this, it means that you'll have spoken to 30 prospects per week, because 3 times 2 is 6, times 5 is 30. So 30 prospects are seeing the business every week to join the business. Per month is 120. If you sponsor 10% of that, that's 12 new people in your group. Supposing you're 20 people doing this. If you're 20 people, it means 100 prospects are looking at your business every week. In a month, those are 400 people. If you sponsor 10, let me say even you sponsor 5%, those are 20 new people in your group. I've seen in this meeting, we are over 300 participants. Just think about this. If everybody who is attending this presentation speaks to 2 people a day, that means every day we'll have 600 people looking at our business. In 1 month, over 12,000 people are looking at our business. Let me say you sponsor only 10%, or let's even say 5% of this 12,000. That means 600 new people are going to join our business. But do you know what makes this happen? Is that you make a commitment to do 2 people a day. Why 2? Because 2 is possible. Everybody who's watching this presentation can speak to 2 new people a day. I know some people in our business are doing 8, 9 people a day, okay? But 2 people a day is duplicable. It's easy to do. You can discipline yourself to speak to 2 people a day. If you speak to 2 people a day, after 1 year, you will be able to have an organization that can fill Kenyatta International Conference Center. And that is how you build a large organization. Paying attention to duplication, paying attention to teaching your people to do the 4 basic things: to build with, then drawing your chart, and then building depth in your organization. And the last thing that is important about building a strong network is friendship. One of the most powerful things is making friends. If you make friends, you will make a diamond directorship. That is how you build depth. And I would like to hand over back to Paul if there are any questions about building depth that we can discuss.
Thank you,
Paul?
thank you so much, Pascal and Betty, for such a wonderful training that you have been able to put us through. And from the comments, I can truly say that our distributors have benefited a lot from that training session, because it was very well. It's numbers, and numbers for sure, they do not lie. And just touching on the basics, the things that we are supposed to do, it's quite amazing. So we're just going to question the question session, as we always do it. If you have a question, there's a place where you can be able to raise your hand. We'll be able to see you raising your hand, or you can write it on the chat, and then we can be able to pick it very quickly. So from I'm seeing Sir K. I hope you're raising up your hand so that we can be able to take it very quickly. So I want to just go straight